There's a number that quietly runs most people's retirement anxiety. It's the fear that you're just too ordinary to ever stop working. That comfortable retirement is something that happens to other people. Surgeons, executives, people who owned 3 investment properties by the time they were 40. And if you earn an average wage, if you're somewhere in the middle of the pack, the story you've been told is that you'll be scraping by on the pension, counting out your groceries, and working part-time at 70 just to stay afloat. So let's actually test it. Not with vibes. With the numbers. The median salary in Australia right now is $74,100 a year. That's the middle. Half of working Australians earn less. Can a person on exactly that salary, no side hustle, no inheritance, no property empire, actually retire comfortably? The answer is going to surprise you. And then the fine print is going to sober you right back up. Here's the thing almost nobody does. They never check their retirement against an actual benchmark. There is one. It's called the ASFA Retirement Standard, and it's the most widely cited retirement benchmark in the country. It prices out, in real dollars, what it costs to live 2 different ways once you stop working. A modest retirement, the basics, a step above the pension. And a comfortable one, private health insurance, a decent car you can replace, regular outings, the occasional trip away. For a single homeowner today, comfortable costs about $55,900 a year. And the lump sum ASFA says you need to fund, it is $630,000. 630 grand? Hold on to that number. Because here's the reframe. You are not starting from zero and trying to save your way there on willpower. You've had a system quietly working in the background your entire career, whether you noticed it or not. Every payday, your employer is legally required to drop 12% of your wage into superannuation. You don't choose to. You don't budget for it. It just happens. So the real question isn't, can I save enough on a median wage? It's simpler and stranger than that. What does that compulsory 12% actually build if you do nothing but exist on a median salary for a working life? Let's model it honestly. Someone who earns the median wage, $74,000 a year, and, importantly, stays on the median their whole career. No big promotions carrying them off. Just an ordinary income, in real terms, from start to finish. We'll run them from age 25 to 67, which is the current age pension age, 42 years. 12% of that salary is $8,892 a year going into super. The tax office takes 15% on the way in, which leaves $7,558 actually landing in the account each year. We put it in a plain, low-cost, diversified fund. No stock picking, no timing the market. We let it compound. Quick note before the number, because this matters. Everything here is general information, not personal financial advice. These are assumptions, long-run returns, fees, an unbroken career, and assumptions are not guarantees. Markets don't hand you a smooth line. Your situation is your own. Keep that in your back pocket for the whole video. With all of that running for 42 years, the median earner retires with, in today's dollars, $649,800. Say that against the benchmark again. ASFA says comfortable costs $630,000. The median earner, doing nothing but existing on an average wage, lands at $650. That's 103% of the target. They clear the bar on the median salary with zero extra effort. Just by not opting out of a system they were never given the choice to opt out of. That is a genuinely remarkable thing about the Australian retirement system. And almost nobody feels it because it happens silently, over decades, in an account most people barely look at. But I don't want you to take the number on faith, so let's pull it apart. Because this is where it gets interesting and where it gets honest. First, fees. We used a low-cost fund charging around 0.6% a year. Run the exact same person through a fund charging 1%, which is completely normal. Plenty of default funds sit around there, and watch what happens. That extra 0.4% over 42 years quietly eats $58,000. The balance drops to $592,000. And just like that, our median earner goes from clearing the comfortable benchmark at 103% to falling short of it at 94%. Let that sink in. The difference between retiring comfortable and retiring not quite on an identical salary, an identical career, identical everything, was the fee on the fund. A number most people have never once checked. Fees are not boring. Fees are the whole ballgame. Second, does that balance actually deliver a comfortable income? $650,000 drawn down sensibly over a 25-year retirement throws off roughly the comfortable figure each year, as long as you're willing to spend the capital, not just live off the interest. That last part trips people up. This isn't a nest egg you admire forever. It's designed to be run down over your retirement. And here's a detail that tells you the whole system is doing exactly what it was built to do. Our median earner ends up with just enough super that they land right above the age pension asset cutoff. They've been lifted clean off the pension, self-funded, which is the entire policy intent: get ordinary earners to fund themselves. But it also means at that level, they're carrying it on their own. So the answer is yes. But that yes is doing an enormous amount of quiet work. And I'd be lying to you if I stopped here. Because that clean result stands on 3 silent assumptions. And real life loves to kick the legs out from under all 3. Assumption 1, an unbroken career. 42 straight years on the median. No redundancy. No years out raising kids. No long illness. No stretch of part-time. The moment there are gaps, the compounding loses its longest, most powerful years. Retire at 60 instead of 67, and the same median earner lands at just $371,000, 59% of comfortable. 7 fewer years of compounding cost them a third of the outcome. Assumption 2, you own your home. The entire ASFA comfortable benchmark assumes you own outright and don't pay rent in retirement. If you're renting at 67, comfortable costs dramatically more, and the pension's rent assistance doesn't come close to closing the gap. In this country, the retirement question and the housing question are the same question wearing 2 hats. Assumption 3, you actually draw the money down, and you don't panic. Sequence risk, a bad run early in retirement, drawing too hard, too soon, any of it changes the picture. So here's the honest line. The median salary gets you there. The median life might not. The wage was never really the obstacle. The gaps, the rent, and the fees were, which is oddly empowering because it tells you exactly where to look. Not at your salary, you may not be able to move that much. Look at the things that quietly decide the outcome. Check your fund's fees. It's the single highest leverage number in this whole video, and it takes 10 minutes. If you're in something expensive, that $58,000 is yours to keep. Protect the compounding years where you can. If life put a gap in your contributions, catch-up contributions exist for a reason. But, and this is important, money you put into super is locked away until you're 60. So before you send extra in, make sure you've got an accessible emergency buffer sitting outside super first. Locking away money you need next year to chase a retirement decades away is not the move. And take the home ownership question seriously and early, because it's carrying more of your retirement than your salary is. None of that is a recommendation for your specific situation. It's the map of where the leverage actually sits. What you do on that map is a conversation for you and a licensed advisor. One last thing, because someone's already typing it in the comments. What about couples? 2 people both earning the median, both full careers, land at roughly $1.3 million between them. Against a couple's comfortable target of $730,000, They don't clear the bar. They lap it. Nearly double before either of them touches the pension. Honestly, the couple version of this question is the easy one. A single income couple leans harder on the pension backstop, but even they get a lot more help from it than a single person does. The hard case, the real test of the system, was always the single earner on an ordinary wage. And the verdict is this: Australia's super system is quietly calibrated so that a median earner with a full career and a paid-off home lands almost exactly at comfortable. Whether that lands on you as reassuring or as damning depends entirely on how median your actual life turns out to be. If this changed how you think about that number in your super account, do me a favor. Hit like and subscribe. It's the single thing that helps this channel keep pulling the numbers apart for everyday Australians. I'll see you in the next one.